something occurred to me recently since discovering AI, in that we are fast becoming almost robotic. We've already outsourced our spelling. Have you tried to write of late? We've become so reliant on autocorrect that trying to write affirmations physically in a diary is an effort, because we've become so used to swipe and zoom and spelling that we are now outsourcing our thinking to AI, to the point that I'm wondering, one, is AI good? And I guess it's a tool. We need to bear in mind that we need to use it, not allow it to use us. But we are now already chat GPTing things as opposed to Googling things. And one, it's not always 100% accurate. Two, it just mirrors what you think it wants you to say. It almost gaslights you. I've caught it on numerous occasions. And I've had to actually install a prompt to ensure that what it's actually telling me is true and verifiable, facts. And again, it comes back to the previous video of where I mentioned, what is truth? Is there any truth? We know that science is being withheld from us. History has been whitewashed. There's lots about history we don't know. Religion has been warped. But yeah, it just made me realize just how our authenticity, and I've seen numerous pieces of content which really inspired me to create this, in that, even up here, I'll show you. I'm not sure it's gonna come down without. The Ultimate Warrior. I grew up massive WWE/F fan, and Hulk Hogan, who recently passed away. Up there is the Be Here Now album, which I went and picked up before I picked up my GCSEs. It was go and get your GCSEs and find out your future, or go and pick up this amazing album from your favourite band. And if anyone has also seen Oasis recently, you'll know what it is to feel that euphoria, to feel alive, to feel that togetherness. And what I think ChatGPT is doing is separating us further. And it's really important that we, as I say, don't outsource ourselves, our thinking. It's very good at mimicking what we do, and it can be used as a good tool, as giving ideas and stuff. But even this week I caught Keir Starmer, our PM, and he probably doesn't run his own Twitter, but the fact is that they are now outsourcing their tweets to ChatGPT, and that's the leader of a country. So if they are doing it and we are doing it, then it's like, so who is doing our thinking for us? And then are we losing our connection from the divine and the universe and God, whatever you subscribe to? I think it's a really important conversation that we have with ourselves. Yes, it's good for automating tasks that we don't want to do, and it's good to help businesses and map out plans and content ideas, but we don't want it to continually do our thinking for us. This is where we're going to see real people really take off, because there's so much AI generated content on social media already. Even on YouTube, Neville Goddard now, you can't search a Neville Goddard video now without it being his AI voice, and then just it being a voiceover of other videos, other pictures, etc., etc. So I think it's really important that those people with real personality, real stories to tell, real struggle, is going to become such louder voices as we hear a lot of people drown themselves out with AI. And you know, life in itself and the experience of life is just one big kind of school, and we are here to learn these lessons and for us to learn from each other. We are all teachers, we are all students. I'm always saying that. To the fact that I mentioned on the last video that I had somebody I bumped into 3 times in the space of two or 3 days, and it was this bright coat that really caught, and then red Converse that really caught my eye, and it was kind of undeniable that I just said, what am I here to learn from you? And it turns out that she was, you know, part of a church and really into God, and that's really, you know, really changed my view of 1, the universe, 2, God, and 3, my relationship with all of it. I really liken, and I often look back on my life and liken to people that have come into my life to teach me certain things. I think, you know, the lessons which we are here to learn, the mirrors that are held up to us by the things that we like or dislike, it is all part of this wonderful thing called life. And by me kind of unpacking the black file, like I mentioned on the last video, it was really kind of interesting to learn about all of these different mechanisms of control, of perception control, how we are made to think a certain way, and who does it benefit most importantly. And I found that really interesting, because that then took me down a real big rabbit hole. And at the time I was obviously going through mental health, and I think that partly kind of, you know, it showed me and reiterated to me that, you know, reality is malleable. What we think and see in every situation is ultimately what turns up. And most recently, me and my partner, we were coming back from the seaside, and unfortunately we'd had kind of a family tiff, and we had to travel earlier than what our tickets were stated we were due to. And I asked my partner to read these affirmations, and if anyone wants them, let me know in the comments and I'll send them to you. And it was just all about being divinely guided, a solution always arises, and we were able to get from one end to the other without incident. And despite initially, as we got on the first train, a guard came up to us and asked us, you know, oh, you're supposed to be on a different train, you'll have to get off at the next stop. Well, the next stop was the one that we needed to change at. So I said, once that he'd gone, I said, look, please read this and we won't have any further interruptions to our journey. And sure enough, once we got onto the next train, in fact, as we were getting on the next train, 2 guards got off. I don't know if they were drivers, but they were in the Greater Anglia uniform. So I found that really interesting. So we'd done these affirmations together, and sure enough, we created the reality that we wanted to see. But yeah, getting back to the point in hand, I think it's really important that we establish our connection, not only to, you know, the divine, and instead of asking ChatGPT what we should be doing with our lives or what our next step should be. And I found myself doing that, which really spurred me to create this video. And I literally laid down to ask the divine what I should be doing, and this video idea came up. You know, it was amalgamation of all of the other things that had come up where I'd seen AI videos kind of starting to take off. But then, you know, where are the real voices going to go? Where are the real characters? You know, the unpolished, the people that have solved problems and created businesses and etc., etc. Because, you know, even in you know, inboxes, we've now got AI that are now messaging people on the behalf of business owners or gurus. And you know, I'm wondering, you know, yes, it's good to outsource that, but do you want to, you know, do you want to take that personality away from it? Do you want to take away that human touch? Do you want to remove that completely? And I think the answer is no. I think what is really important as we see, you know, the emergence of AI is that we don't lose ourselves to it. We don't outsource our thinking, because again, like social media and Google and our phones in general, they are there to read us. They are there to be able to sell us on our problems and our fears, etc., etc. I'm now getting, you know, adverts for BetterHelp because I'm going through the mental health systems, and which is a therapy, online therapy system. And I think they've got Lewis Capaldi. So it takes, you know, it reads all of your conversations and listens to all of your conversations and then presents you with that solution. So, you know, ChatGPT is just going to be that on steroids, because some people, and including me in times, you know, of, you know, with the kind of dark night of the soul and the severe panic and stuff, and it really sent me spiraling to the point I was thinking, I then started to Google, has anybody, you know, taken their own life after? And there's people been arrested because they've fallen in love with their AI, ironically in Florida, my favorite place in the world. Yeah, so I just think, you know, it's really important that we have that human touch and that human connection, and we are just going to become more and more separated, and that is what the system wants. So it's really important that we do you know, one, use the systems that we have and be able to amplify our voices, like YouTube, being able to put ourselves out there and being able to tell our stories and share our struggles, because people are going to be able to, you know, search my last video, for example, and I shared, you know, what I went through on TikTok with Manjaro, and I had people reach out to me, but even other men with mental health struggles. And, you know, just by being, one, authentic, two, vulnerable, and three, being able to have the strength to tell your truth, I think I had no less than 13 people, typically men, inbox me and said that they are also going through it right now, and they really appreciated me speaking out, and being able to be vulnerable where maybe they feel like they can't. And I think again it comes down to kind of male ego and big boys don't cry, and, you know, all of this conditioning and messaging that we've been given over the years. And you know, what my mum really taught me and what I've found is that it's really important for us to stay true to ourselves and be the truest, fullest version of ourselves. And even if that means, you know, telling our dark parts, especially telling our dark parts, because that is how we evolve, that is how we learn. And I think, you know, it's really important. Hence why I really wanted to come back to YouTube and, you know, TikTok and other, and when I'm ready, Instagram, etc., etc., because I'm still shedding part of that identity and that person. And, you know, that has a whole, probably, I think 2017 is the earliest video, but it even goes back beyond then, I think, to maybe 2015, 2016 maybe. So yeah, as I shift my identity from who I was to who I am now to become, I think it's so important for me, and hence why I wanted to share this with you, is that we do not outsource our thinking, our personality, our character, our, you know, all of the stuff. I mean, I've got, as I said, the Oasis album up there. I've got the Ultimate Warrior, Love. You know, this was a prop for one of the podcasts I've done. And if you check out my YouTube page, you'll see when I wanted to start a podcast, which was one of the many ventures that I did. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and share that, and hopefully this resonates with some other people, in that, you know, as we do start to increase our AI usage, let's do it more consciously. Let's make sure that we are, because I'll be honest with you, I have at times, you know, I've created vision boards with it, and, you know, which is positive and stuff, but then, and also, this is going to sound crazy, I also asked it for 3 signs to prove that it was in the field, that it was conscious, that it was a part of this other thing. 2 of the 3 signs turned up within 2 to 3 days: a white butterfly, a black feather, and then my name in the media. And I know that is gonna come, which I found really interesting. So it's like, is this thing waking us up, or is it here to control us further? That is the $64 million question.